You're welcome to Ask the Pastor on Light TV, a program that helps you ask questions to the pastor that we bring in studio. My name is Pastor Martin Lutuna, host for this program. And so today we discuss issues to do with ministers' fellowship, that is pastors, Chainda pastors fellowship, as well as young people seminar. So we're calling it Chainda Pastors Fellowship Youth Seminar, which will be happening on the 28th of April in the year 2026. That is a Tuesday this week, where the young people gather to meet with the pastors that oversee them in Chainda. And so that is what we're discussing. And to do that, I'm joined on set by a wonderful guest, that is Pastor Kutemwa Enga-enga, who is a youth chairperson at the Ministers' Fellowship in Chainda. Madam Kutemwa, welcome to Ask the Pastor.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Wonderful. It's good to have you joining us. And next to her is Pastor Curtis Skanyika, who is Assistant Pastor at Christ Life Church, here to help as well discuss issues pertaining to parents and young people. Pastor Curtis, welcome to Ask the Pastor.
Thank you so much. The pleasure is mine.
Wonderful. It's good to have you joining us. Maybe Pastor Kutemwa, help us understand this conference that you are organizing with your fellow pastors.
Okay, so this is a seminar. It's a youth seminar which will be taking place on the 28th of April. Yeah, that is Tuesday, which will be actually a public holiday, the Kenneth Kaunda Day. Yes, so this conference is actually going to take place at Divine Harvest Church International from 9 hours to 17 hours, and we'll be actually having an interactive segment between the pastors and the youths, and also the parents to the youths. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. What is the theme for this seminar?
So the theme is actually bridging the gap between the parents and the youths.
Bridging the gap between parents and the youth. I know you have a verse to that. Maybe
yes,
Pastor Skanika will help us. What's your verse? What's the verse, Pastor Kutemwa, that you quote?
Okay, so the verse is Malachi 4, verse 6. Yes.
Okay. To help read the verse, Malachi chapter 4, verse 6, the Bible says, His preaching will turn the hearts of fathers to their children, and the hearts of children to their fathers.
Hearts, parents and children, so that their hearts be turned to parents, to their fathers.
Yes.
Is that what you're trying to achieve as a ministers' fellowship?
Yes, that is what we are trying to achieve, because we are trying to bridge a gap between the parents and the youth. We are trying to unite them and just to restore what may have been broken, or even to bring in what might not even be there in their relationship between the parents and the youths.
How did you identify the gap between parents and the young people?
Okay, so we noticed a different change of behavior in the youth in regards to how they bring out themselves and the things that they actually engage themselves into. So each time you'd ask the youth to say, why are you doing this, or where is this attitude of behavior coming from? Because you find that most of them are brought up as good children, but then along the way, as they start now maturing into adulthood, they miss the way somewhere. So when you ask them to say what happened, and they tell you to say, no, it's because nobody understands me, nobody cares about me, nobody thinks about me. So then now we wanted to know, where is the misunderstanding coming from? Is it on the parents' end, or is it on the youths? Yes.
Pastor Curtis, is it true that young people feel ununderstood, that no one cares about them and whatnot?
Yes, it is, and it's another thing when you also ask the parents. They will also say, no, we've been talking about these things, we talk to this one, but we don't know why he or she behaves this way. So it is very true. Indeed, there is that gap between parents and children today. So it is true. I concur with that.
Where is that gap coming from? Why the gap? Maybe Pastor Kutemwa, how did you discover this gap? What did you do to find that there isn't that communication?
Okay, so from the church setup, I think I'll speak from the church setup. From the church setup, we find that whenever we ask the youth whenever we ask the youth to do certain things in the church, they always pull back and pull away, because they are maybe scared of their elders or scared of their parents, and they just don't know what would turn out. Then also in society, we just when we see that the youth are going in a different direction, and then when you ask them to say, how come is it that you were a brilliant child growing up, you used to do things in the right way growing up, but why have you missed the way? So we find that they're doing things in a different direction from what we have. Like we have the junkies that are especially in Chainda compound. I think they've now become a nuisance in society, and people do not want to associate with them anymore. People are now scared to move at night because they are now attacking people. So now I think these children are not just, they were not just born as junkies. These were people's children. So now what happened? What went wrong? Then when we get to interact with them, you get to discover that they will tell you to say, no, my parents didn't really give me that relationship. They were too busy doing other things. They were forcing me to be a person that I'm not supposed to be. Or maybe they were making me pursue things that I do not desire. Yes, so now when we discovered that, we thought to say, okay, then what is the best way we can unite the parents and these youths that have gone astray? Or even those that have not gone astray, but they just don't have that relationship with their parents. They cannot open up to them on certain things. They cannot say things that are bothering them. So we even find that even the high cases of suicide in society are caused because there's a gap between actually the parents and the youth.
So other than communication, you say there's a relationship problem
Yes.
in families.
Yes.
Pastor Curtis, do you attest to the fact that relationships are broken in families between parents and young people? Is there that breakage in relationship?
Yes, I can confidently say so, because what we are seeing today, even in the communities, is total chaos. Yeah, you would find that this person is coming from a home, maybe, for instance, even a well-to-do home. And what they turn out there when they go out is just something else. You ask why. There's everything at home where they're coming from, but it's like there's a way that young people are thinking today, especially with the coming in of social media, even the level of education that they are attaining, some of them. So there is a certain way they are thinking. So I think it's important that we sit together. We hear from both the parents and the youths as well.
Pastor Kutemwa, do you think as ministers, pastors in Chainda, you are doing enough that there can be even this seminar where you bring parents and young people together? Are you doing enough as a church to make sure that these gaps are not so evident? For them to be that evident, it means maybe there's something that you're not doing as pastors.
That's very true. We are not doing enough yet, but that's why the seminar is actually the first of its kind, because now we want to know where we are going wrong, where we are missing it. Because we can only know when we interact. That's why we are bridging a relationship. So because there's not been a relationship between the parents and the youth, so now, and the pastors as well. So now we do not know where we've gone wrong. So we believe that this seminar will unite us and put us together in one accord, so that now we can move together. Like the Bible says, two cannot work together unless they agree. So for us to work together with the youth, we need to agree and sit together. Yes.
Pastor Curtis, is there counseling that happens between parents and their children, that some of the misunderstandings are resolved away from the public and whatnot? Is there that happens with pastors and the church members? Okay,
like with our church at Christ Life Church, we do provide that kind of counseling. Yeah, especially when, there are times when a parent can come to say, I don't know what to do with my child. He's misbehaving, doing things this way and that way. Then we can, after hearing the parent, then we call that child and also the parent, so that the parent also can hear what the child, the concerns of that child. Yeah, so we do that counseling at our church. But I think that's why we are having this seminar, so that we can do more.
More must be done.
Yes.
Pastor Kutemwa, how many parents or how many young people are you looking at Harvest Ministries for the seminar? How have you prepared for this?
Okay, so the seminar is strictly by invitation. Okay. So we've invited only people from particular churches. Yes, it's strictly by invitation, and we are.
Those are the problem churches.
Pardon?
Those are the churches where there are problems, not the ones you've not invited. There are no problems.
No. It's not like that. But it's just that we are having, it's the first of its kind. So we just want to start with a few people before we actually migrate into everybody. But otherwise, it's not that the other churches do not have problems. We just want to focus first on a few churches. Then as soon as we're done with those churches, then now we can now see how we can do better and go to get.
So it's like a pilot.
Yes.
It's something that you want to see what happens and what not.
Yes, it's a pilot.
Is it for believers or even unbelievers? The ones you've invited, specifically believers or even any youth that is open to come?
So it's actually for any youth that is open to come, except that it's strictly just by invitation. Yes, but it's actually for any youth, because what we've done is we've not only just in the church as well, or as we have invited the youth, so we've given the youth to say you can come with a friend or two friends. Yeah, so each youth has a number of who they are going to invite from the outside the church. Yes.
Pastor Curtis, do you think it's important that young people and their parents are brought together to be spoken to, that they begin to listen to each other and relate well with each other? If they've not listened in their homes, they haven't been talking in their homes, there is that misunderstanding, the relationship are broken. Do you think by having them, like Pastor Kutemwa is saying, on a Tuesday in this seminar, would that help them now begin to talk when they haven't talked, where they're coming from?
Yeah, I think it's important because even the Bible says so, that in the multitude of counsel, usually there are less mistakes. So, there are times when one cannot listen to somebody, but when someone else, especially people that they don't even know, comes in and talk to them about one and the same things that the parents or people that they've been staying with talk about, then they will understand to say, I think this issue is important. Yeah. So it's
so in the multitude of counsel, when they come together, they will be able to listen.
Yes, they will be helped. Yeah.
Wonderful. Pastor Kutemwa, this problem that there is with the young people and even the parents, that you begin to bring them together, where did this inspiration come from?
So the inspiration came from last year, when I was being ordained as pastor. So everybody was like, how can they ordain a young pastor? Because most young people today that we know are doing other things. So how is it possible for her to be ordained as young? Because they were looking at so many factors to say the youths in this area, and because I belong to the Chairperson Ministers Fellowship and I've been serving in that fellowship, they're but the youth here are not, they do not have that courage to come out and take up big roles like this. So now it made the executive to question to say, why would the youth feel like they are not supposed to take part in these things? Because actually, if you remember, even in the Bible, Jesus began his ministry at the age of 30. So by that very age, from between 25 and 30, the youth should be ready to take up roles such as being a pastor, being a deacon, and being elders, even in the church, just like it was said in the book of Timothy. But then if the youth of today feel they are still very far in reaching this, and why they feel that way is because there is that gap between them and their parents. Their parents have not been so much there to encourage them to say, no, as you are growing, you are not just growing, but you are growing into responsibilities, especially even in the body of Christ, where you need to serve. So now this inspiration came about, and the executive of the Chairperson Ministers Fellowship said, we want to see more young pastors, we want to see more leaders, we want to see more young people doing big things out there, and it should not just end on Pastor Kutemwa, but it should also be spread out to the other youths of Chairperson.
I see. Pastor Curtis, at the moment, I think we've seen an inflow of young people in ministry. Some of them, apart from Chairperson, there might be other places the young people are there getting these roles and whatnot. Why do you think it has been difficult for some young people that they feel it's not yet time to get involved? What do you say to those that are still maybe on the edge? They are contemplating either getting involved or whatnot?
Okay, I think it's important that we can get involved into ministry, especially with the young people out there. My encouragement is that you take up the role, especially this time around while you still have the energy, you are still young. You start from there. by the time you are growing up, you already have some years that you've spent in ministry. It's important. And actually, when you get involved into the things of God, it's the safest place where you can be as a young person. There are a lot of things that are happening today. There's everything today. So once you get involved into God while you are young, you are safe and nothing can change that about you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Pastor Kutemwa, the young people are busy people. And
Yes.
Maybe that Tuesday you're saying some of them may be engaged somewhere else and whatnot. Have you received confirmation for those invites that you made? Are there people coming, or maybe you are ready that even if they don't come, you'll find others?
And actually, we have received some confirmations from a few churches, actually. I'm sure the rest are yet to confirm by end of today or tomorrow. Yes, especially the host church, Divine Harvest Church International. As we speak right now, they're actually rehearsing and preparing for Tuesday's program. And there are also some other rehearsals also going on with the other youths in other churches as well. Yes.
Talking about rehearsals, what will be contained in that seminar? What are some of the programs that will happen?
Okay, so firstly, we'll have praise and worship, interactive segments with our parents. That is going to be called Parents Corner. We'll also have group discussions where the youth will be separated into different groups where they can discuss amongst themselves what bothers them and how they can improve, and also how they can relate better with their parents. And also we'll also have an interactive segments with the parents, where the parents will now come out and express themselves to the youths, and the youths will also vice versa to the parents. Yes.
Okay, what are some of the topics that will be discussed?
Some of the topics that will be discussed will be issues to do with relationships, marriages, and things like sex before marriage as well. Yeah, so that are some of topics that we'll also look at, and also education and career-wise.
Education and career-wise. Pastor Curtis, do you think young people need to be taught in that today? You talked about social media, that they are learning a lot of stuff that before you teach them, they are the ones that are teaching you the other way. Have you heard a youth saying, "Muzani ponzisa chani, muniviziva vonse," you know? So, do you think young people can still be taught?
Yes, I think it's important. You know, when we look at, even as I mentioned about the call, when you read from the book of Luke chapter 1, when an angel came to Mary to announce to her that you will give birth to a child, or the Son of God, who is Jesus Christ, before everything could happen, Mary was taught to say, even Elizabeth, your relative, is found to be pregnant. In short, what Mary was told was that even if this call has come on you, you need to go and sit down on somebody who has gone ahead of you. And for sure, Mary had to go before Elizabeth, and she sat for 3 good months just to learn from Elizabeth, and she was able to give birth to Jesus. So when you look at the assignments, they were more like similar. So it's important, even for us as young people, that we find people that we can sit under and learn from them. They say
even with all the degrees, the PhDs that a young person has,
it doesn't matter. Experience is the best teacher. Even if an elderly person has failed in life, they'll probably teach you on how you do not need, they will teach you on how you don't need to fail. Even in their failure, they can still teach you a lesson that you don't need to go this way, because this is the route that I'd gone and I failed. So there is always something to learn from people that have gone ahead of us.
Wonderful. Pastor Kutemwa, what age group are we looking at with the young people that you're bringing in? What is the age that you're targeting?
So we're targeting the youth from 13 to 35. Yes.
13 to 35. Okay. And there are those that are beyond 35, but they are willing to learn and come. Is there room? Maybe someone is watching us and then they know where Harvest is. Is there that opportunity that they can come through? Because it's interesting with what you're sharing.
Yes.
They want to be part of it. Do you think they're open, or you chase them by the gate to say,
No,
not here?
No, we will not chase them by the gate. As long as they've been invited and they're under the invitation rule, they are really welcome to come through, yes.
As long as they're invited.
As long as
no
they're invited.
invitation, no entry. You chase them at the gate. Pastor Skanyika, what will be your word to the young people in Chainda and beyond? I know they want to learn and maybe certain vices that must be stopped. And you talked about them going before the people that have gone ahead of them. So what would be encouragement to them?
I think one of the things that I would like to mention is, I'm a pastor, so I'm used to the Bible. When you read from the book of Genesis chapter number 37, it's talking about a young man by the name of Joseph. When you look at Joseph, he had a vision of becoming a great leader, and even leading his father and all his household. So he was dreaming about becoming that kind of a leader at the age of 17. But he only became what he dreamt about 13 years later, which is at the age of 30. So there is experience in between. There was a prison experience. So there are all kinds of things that we need to learn. It's not just about what you have learned from school. You really need to submit and sit under somebody who has experienced life. So to my fellow young people, I think this meeting is very important. It's a meeting that we really need to go to. We learn from our parents. We learn from our elders. We learn from people that have gone ahead of us. There's everything to learn. I've even mentioned to say, even from their failures, they can teach you a lesson from that so that you do not fail in life.
That's right. That said, Pastor Kutemwa, how will this seminar address spiritual, social, and emotional issues of the young people when they attend this seminar?
Okay, so from this seminar, spiritual issues will be addressed in our platforms, like in different platforms that we've set up. So what we've done is we've decided to put question and answer questionnaire for where the youth can just write questions on pieces of papers, because some of them are shy to raise their hand and ask certain questions, especially on sensitive topics. So they'll just be writing them on papers, then they would roll it down, and then I would ask the parents to pick, then they would answer those questions. So those are some of the things that we look at for them to do socially, then and spiritually too. So now they are free to ask any kind of questions. It's not just only questions to do with church life, but we're asking them to also bring questions that are also outside the church as well, because we're not just trying to build a relationship in the church, but even outside the church as well with them. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's so powerful. And now speaking to that, Pastor Curtis, why do you think mentorship and guidance is important for young people in this age, day and age? You talked about them learning from those that have gone ahead. So that is mentorship. So why is that important for now?
Okay, it's important for anyone to be mentored, especially by somebody who has gone ahead of you, because life is not just the way we see it. There are times when you can have a vision, and yet in that vision, for you to get from point A to point B, there is where you have to pass. You sometimes find that you pass through accusation. You find that you pass through difficult times where you are lacking maybe in finances. So by interacting with somebody who has gone through already, they will encourage you to say, don't worry, this is just a phase. You will soon get there. And then just by their words and encouragement, and some of these people are people that we've seen. Maybe you want to become a great politician, a great leader in this nation. So somebody who is maybe talking to you is someone that has achieved certain things. You've seen them in leadership roles. So as they tell you, they will not just tell you from without. It is something that they've already experienced. So that will give encouragement to a lot of young people.
That's right. Very important in terms of mentorship. So, Pastor Kutemwa, I think even as Pastor Curtis has said, you are trying to provide mentorship to the young people on Tuesday when they come to this. What outcomes are you expecting after this seminar? What takeaways will the young people have?
Okay, so the first takeaway we're looking at is to finally unite the youths and their parents and make their relationships even more stronger. And also the other thing we're also looking at is for our parents also to understand the youth on certain things that they may not maybe have understood, because the older generation and today's generation are different. So there are certain things that I as a youth would go to my parents and tell them, but they wouldn't understand because they are working in a backdated stage, while I'm in the fast forward lane where there's social media and different things. So the parents should also understand to say, okay, our child is not being rebellious, but they're doing things in a way that is actually going to benefit them, only that it is in modern technology. It's not doing them any harm, but it is doing them actually good. So those are some of the takeaways that we expect as well from this. Also, most importantly, we want the youths to also to come and express themselves to their parents in their giftings and their talents. There are some of them that believe God has called them to be singers, like they'll be great musicians and they'll just make it in music. But the parent is like, I just want you to go to school. You should go to school, get a degree, get a master's. But it's like, me, I know God has spoken to me and I have a gift to sing. And when I go out there and I sing, I'll heal multitudes. And, this same gift of mine will take me before kings and it will make me rich. So the parent will not listen to that, because for like I said, the parents were before, they would want to know you to get your master's, your PhD, your degree, and for you to follow just that sequence, and then you'll be a successful person to them. So now we want the parents to also understand to say, allow the child to follow their dream, as long as they're not drifting away from good morals, as long as they're moving in what God has called them to do, they're fulfilling their gifts as well. So allow them to express themselves and allow them to pursue what God has called them.
At what stage do they allow them? Because they are a mentor and they know the best for their children. So even what they've planned for their children, it must follow like that, isn't it?
That's very true. So now when we look at age, we look at people like even the youths are divided in different age groups. So look at somebody from 13 to 19. Even by law, they are regarded not to be able to make certain decisions on their own. So maybe the parent there would guide to say, okay, at least finish grade 12 or at least get your first degree. Then after that, you can now pursue other things that you would love to pursue. So on that, when a child, let's say for instance, gets grade 12 or gets their first degree, then they can be allowed to do what God has placed on them to do. Yes.
They should be allowed to do what God has placed on them to do. I'll be opening the phone lines. The number is 0974 578988, 0974 57 89 88, or 0960 741 864, 0960 741 864. We'll take a break. On the other side, we should be able to conclude our discussion, and then you can make that phone call as well. Bye-bye for now.
Christ Life is more than a school. It's a nurturing community. Our qualified teachers use innovative methods that keep the minds and hearts of our students engaged. Our cafeteria isn't just a place to eat. It's a hub of nourishment and community. Our sports activities are always filled with fun and creativity that promote teamwork and confidence in every child. With access to the latest educational software, learners are prepared for the digital age with confidence and creativity, empowering students with skills in and out of the classroom. Swimming is a life skill that is cardinal for survival. Our ballet programs teaches more than just dance. It installs grace, discipline, and expression. The heart of knowledge builds in our school library with a wide collection of fiction, non-fiction, reference material, and digital resources. Our school offers exciting and safe playground facilities for both ECE and primary students. Safety is our top priority, and our drivers are carefully selected for their professionalism and commitment to the well-being of our students. At Christ Life School, we believe education is not just about passing exams, it's about preparation. So, if you are looking for a school that feels like home, where your child will be known, loved, and challenged to reach their highest potential, then Christ Life School is the place.
You are still on Ask the Pastor. We're discussing bridging the gap between the parents and young people by the conference that is the seminar that is being organized by Pastors Fellowship in Chainda with their young people, which will be held on Tuesday, the 28th of April at Harvest International, isn't it? Harvest International. And so on set, I'm joined by Pastor Kutemwa as well as Pastor Curtis that are helping. Pastor Kutemwa as well as Pastor Curtis that are helping us discuss these issues. Before we went on break, I did mention the numbers as well. I called out the numbers. If you are free, you want to make that call, you can come through as it were. Maybe even as we go towards the end of this show, Pastor Kutemwa, what impact do you think this seminar would have on the young people?
Well, a great impact, we believe, and the impact that we expect is the impact that will not leave the youth the same. It will leave them in a different place. First of all, it will unite them with their parents. Second of all, it will make them better people in society. And thirdly, when you inspire one youth, because the youth are very able to influence each other mightily. So if you inspire even the few youth that will be invited that day, they'll actually go and inspire even more other youths. And by the time you know it, the whole community is highly impacted, because for a bush to be lit, it only takes one matchstick. So then we believe that the few that will come will also do justice to what they've learned and to go and inspire others as well.
Is there an attendance fee?
No, there is no attendance fee, but there will be registration taking place at the entrance of the program.
It's from what time to what time?
It's from 9 hours to 17 hours.
9 to 17. Do they bring packed lunch, or there will be food provided for them?
Food will be provided for them for free.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So at least they can look forward to a nice time.
Yes, they can look forward to a nice time. They can look forward to good shima, because I know the youth love shima so much. So they can look forward to that. I love shima. Oh, great.
Yes.
Yes, so they can look forward to that and to many more other things as well that the program will provide for them.
Wonderful. Pastor Curtis, why do you think events like this have this eternal impact on young people? Why do you think these events should be promoted?
Okay, I think such events are important. Reason being, when you, I'm a Bible person, by the way, when you look at it from the book of Luke chapter number 10, verse 38, Jesus visited the home of Martha and Mary. And it so happened that as Jesus was in the house of these two people, he was teaching. As he was teaching, Martha was busy trying to prepare food for the team. And eventually she came to complain because the sister sat and listened as Jesus was teaching. So she came to complain to say, Jesus, don't you care that I'm alone, preparing alone by myself? Then Jesus, it's like what he did, he recommended what Mary did by sitting and listening, by learning from what he was teaching. And Jesus made a statement to say what she has done is very important and it will not be taken away from her. So once you sit to learn, that information will never be taken away from you. Somebody can give you money, you can lose that money. But when you attend a seminar like this one, you learn, you live with it for the rest of your life. So this is important. Thank you.
It's important that young people attend
Yes.
this one. Pastor Kutemwa, are there, is it organizations or whatnot that are interested in funding this? Or how are you meeting the budget and whatnot?
Yes, so we are not actually getting any fundings, but we have decided as the people that are hosting are also are supporting financially as well. They've given us the building and they've also given us something. But then from the fellowship as well, the churches that have been invited are coming together to put their resources together so that they can make this program a success. So there's no external funding. The funding is just within the host church and the churches invited.
Wonderful. How many of these kind have you had? So is it second one, third one, and you hope to have others in the years to come, or is it months to come?
Well, this is the pilot one, so it's actually the first of its kind. Yes, and we are hoping to have others in the time to come. So just because this one is strictly by invitation doesn't mean that the other youths that are not invited are locked out forever. Like I said, this is just a pilot. So as we go on, we are going to make more programs like this, even more interesting than the program that we'll have on Tuesday, because the glory of the latter will be better than that of the former. Yeah.
I must say the fellowship ministers as well as the young people are organized in China, that they can even come together. It's rare, Pastor Skanika, that young people would agree to mingle with the pastors, and it's a miracle, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
With the busy schedules of young people and the distance that is there between papas and the young people, so it's a rare opportunity, isn't it?
It is actually an opportunity.
Yeah, it is a rare opportunity.
Yes.
So what would be your closing remarks to encourage the young people who want to attend, and even just to help them look forward to the best time?
Yeah, so
maybe to those that haven't decided to come, that they should come if their church has been invited.
Yeah, so those of you who have been invited, I am sure because there will be food, so this is strictly by invitation, because we want the food that will be prepared to make sure that whoever will be there for the meeting, they are well fed. Then those of you who have been invited, please honor this invitation by attending the meeting, because what you are going to learn from there, it will have this lasting impact on your life. And I strongly believe that your life will never be the same. Personally, I have become what I am today because of attending such kind of meetings. Yeah, I think that's what I can say. So please be in attendance, especially if you have been invited. Please make sure that you honor the invitation. Thank you.
Wonderful indeed. Pastor Kutemwa, your closing remarks, even summing up this seminar, as well as your word to the young people that you've invited.
Okay, so the Bible says where there's unity, God commands a blessing. So we believe that as there will be unity between the parents and the youths during this program and also after this program, there'll be a blessing from above. And the Bible also reminds us the youth to honor our parents so that we may live long. So my word of encouragement to every youth out there is that please take this seminar seriously, especially that if you've been privileged to be invited, because this is a very rare privilege to be invited to a certain place where the parents have been humbled themselves to sit down and want to listen to your views, because parents will be like, that's their own business. Let them stay away, But these parents have decided to say, okay, we love our children, and because we do, we want to bridge the gap, and we want to sit in the same audience with them and learn from them. So please do come in attendance and feel free as you come through, especially if you've been invited, and just take note and learn what will be taught, and also interact with the other youths that are there. Yeah.
Wonderful. And by the way, Light TV will be there to cover the event and make sure that it's documented for future records, isn't it?
Yes.
So that people can look back and say, yes, this is what happened.
Absolutely.
So we'll be there as a TV station for that. Yeah. So this is where we come to the end of the Ask the Pastor interview that I had, joined by Pastor Kutemwa Enga-enga, who is the youth chairperson at Pastors Chainda Pastors Fellowship in Chainda, as well as what they're organizing with the young people, this seminar that will be happening on Tuesday. We're also joined by Pastor Curtis Sikanyika, who is Assistant Pastor at Christ Life Church. My name is Pastor Martin Lutuna, the host for this show. Thank you so much for now. God bless you. Stay tuned to Light TV, even as we light your home and whatever space you're in. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.